What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to, I'm choking, Top 5 Comics of March 2025. This isn't an April Fool's joke. We're not on time. We're late. But as far as the month goes, this is the first time we've ever landed this show on the first of the next month. This is as early as you're probably ever going to get this show. So it feels nice to kind of be on time. You know, what can I say? But as always, I've got my main man, Drewski, here. What's up, Drew?
Hi. I do know the temperatures aren't that high today, but they're going to be high tomorrow. I got to talk about weather real quick. The weather has been yo-yoing like nuts here in Indiana. Like yesterday, it was high of like 55. Today it was like a high of 35. Tomorrow, high of 75. Then back down to 45. Like, what is going on? Please, some consistency.
Dude, that's how it was for us like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. We were literally having days in the like 20s to 30s for like half the week, and then the back half of the week we're in like the high 80s, and then we reverted back to like the 20s to 40s and back up to the 80s, and I was like, bro, y'all got to chill out. Like, this is too much.
Yes.
So yeah, no, that's never fun. And like we're already getting enough heat that we're starting to get that kind of Texas summer stickiness coming in. And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking go back to the cold. So but that's definitely never fun. How are you, man? Other than the weather, other than that yo-yo, how's life going?
Life is good. Life's been busy. Life's been productive. Never a dull moment. Every day is going by so incredibly fast.
Yes.
I kind of like that. You know, I like that staying busy, and it's better than sitting around doing nothing.
No, I like staying busy. I don't like when I'm like, bro, where the beep did January go? And then it feels like a week passes and you're like, what do you mean February's over? And then 2 weeks pass and you're like, we're already past the first quarter of the year? Like, no, take it back. Burn it down.
Come on, Pookie, let's burn it down.
Yeah, burn it down. So working, I mean, you're staying busy. You got your day job, everything. You're working like 50 million books, but you have a little bookie book that's doing some crowdfunding right now, correct?
That's correct. Literally as of 14 minutes ago on Kickstarter, Pray for the Sinner has...
No, I was saying woot woot.
Oh, sorry. Okay, they said wait. Never mind.
My bad.
Pray for the Sinner. Issues 1 through 6 have already been finished. So this is the first time we're offering the collected edition of Pray for the Sinner 1 through 6 in trade paperback form, as well as a redone issue number 5 art-wise. It's going to be a beautifully redrawn issue 5, and we're also offering a beautiful cover gallery edition, which includes the likes of Shikari, Rob Liefeld, and others. And the crazy part, even crazier part, it's only a 1-week campaign. So this ends next Wednesday, the 9th. This is done.
Done.
Do you win? Done.
So for those that maybe aren't familiar with Pray for the Sinner, in short, kind of what's the rundown? What's the story about?
Elevator pitch. It's I spit on your grave in space. That's the elevator pitch.
Nice.
This is a she was
that?
Little risky business. So she was a prison psychologist in space, studying prisoners in space. And one day there was a prison outbreak, and just like in I Spit on Your Grave, something bad happens to her. Something terrible happens to her. And but somehow we don't know, we can't explain it yet, but she is somehow empowered after this, and she goes on a revenge streak against those who took advantage of her. And this is the story of her getting that vengeance in issues 1 through 6.
Nice. I love this homage cover here.
To Akira. Yep.
Akira. Nice. Yeah, no, looks good, dude. So tell us a little bit, just real quick, about the creative team involved.
Oh man, so this is Murat Michaels. This is his brainchild. This is his baby. And I was late to the ride, just off doing some some dialogue tweaks here and there. But I may be doing something with the character a little later on. We can't say what yet. But anyway, Marat Michaels, Ryan Kincaid, Dietrich Smith, Delso Corona, I believe Sean Forney, Shikari. So many artists have either contributed to the covers or to interiors. This is a beautiful, beautiful looking book. And if there's one thing that you can get from Marat Michaels, it is a beautiful looking book. And Pray for the Sinner is just that. But I can also vouch for the fact that it's a awesome kick-ass story too.
Yes, sir. No, man, it looks good. And 1 week time. I mean, like you guys are already almost at your pledge goal, so that's awesome. But the fact that it is a trade paperback, not bad at all. So you guys make sure you go check that out. I'll drop the link in the comments here in a second. And yeah, best of luck. So
every little bit helps.
Happens. Yeah, I mean, you guys are gonna hit it within like your first hour. So I love it. But that's awesome, man.
Thank you.
We'll have to check back before we end the stream, because it's like undoubtedly gonna be there. We went from when I first pulled up the tab, you're at 15 backers, and now you're at 21 backers. So winning. But no, this is
Charlie Sheen style.
Yeah, this is one of the books that I've gotten to see like just pieces of here and there and hear you talk about. So I'll have to jump in on this to get the trade and catch up as well.
Yeah, getting to write this character was interesting because because I remember reading it initially because I hadn't really read it before, and I told Marat, I'm like, the way I'm getting this is that it's really like spit on your grave, but in space. He's like, yeah, that's exactly it. I'm like, okay, I got it.
Got it. It's always nice when you can kind of take something like that, like elevator pitch type thing, and be like, oh, so this, and they're like, yeah, and you're like, oh, cool, yeah, no, I'm down.
Yep.
Let's run with it.
Yeah.
So sweet. So you guys, I'm going to hold on. Let me actually pull this now so I can drop it in. Gonna drop it into the chat so y'all can go check it out, support it, back it, put your own monies in there. And then we'll circle back at the end of the stream just to see where it's at.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Marat Michaels appreciates it. The entire creative team appreciates it.
Faux show. Before we get into our March comics for 2025, we're going to pop over to the comments section real quick and see who all's here. So first and foremost, we got Rudy Tatigwe here. Can't wait to see. I'm assuming he means our top 5. I might be a little controversial tonight. No, nothing new there, but I may or may not actually have a top 5. So, Rutro. We also have Cajun Corey in the house with Evening. What's up, brother? How are you? And Cajun Corey also coming in with, the new Harley Quinn fart comic would be the perfect April Fool's prank to start the stream. So,
that's too predictable. You can't do that.
It is. Part of me did want to I mean, kind of highlight it to discuss it just in its absurdity, and then I completely forgot to. But I was gonna do a WTF is even this, and I didn't get a chance. It's been a busy week, so I did not get a chance to. But yeah, man, we need to find someone that actually got their hands on a physical copy. To let us know what smells are in that book, because I'm not saying I want to smell it. I just want to know, like
all I gotta say is that comic is a pure example of the saying, "A fool and his money are soon parted." That's that comic.
100%. And I know Wes was saying like there's pages that has like cinnamon rolls on it, so I'm wondering if they made that the smell thing, or if they're like trying to put different fart smells in there. Either way, it's sad. We have Zach's in the house. What's up, brother? Nice to see you. Who else do we have here? We've got Jamin D coming in with the rock on, my man. Nice to see you. And we have CXLA. See, I do this you know what? I do this every week, and I feel so bad about it. But it's nice to see you. And I know you're going to correct me in a second, so I'm just going to say it's nice to see you again. And thank you for being here. God God, sometimes I hate my life. I'm just like, I do this. It's something about this stream in particular too. It'll be his name, and then I start reading names of the creators, and it's some of these names for the creators. I'm like, I read over it a couple times and say it out loud and be like, yeah, I got it. And then we get to that page, that slide, and I'm like, fuck. It's like the way I convince myself to pronounce it just goes all out the window. Okay, so yeah, CXLA. So I would have been right. Oh man. Wait, did he have the pronunciation up the entire time?
I
think he did.
think, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Listen, I was telling Drew I'm on the struggle bus today, and this is a prime example because I got so caught up with looking at your name with God with the avatar that I didn't even read the comment. Oh, Drew, I'm gonna apologize in advance for this one. Look, just everyone that's watching, we only have 19 people right now, but anyone watching, get your clip fingers ready because there's no telling what might happen. And Zax knows the type of stuff I tend to say by mistake. You know, be careful what you read. And I've been pretty clip worthy in the past for saying stuff that would definitely get me in some hot water. It's just... Oh God, I'm sorry. Oh look, yep, what's been there? CX like it's cool. Corey's like Josh is just retarded. That's pretty much it. Oh man. All right. On to business. We're going to be covering our top 5 comics for March of 2025. As always, we're going to prove to you that we cannot count. Drew, does an amazing job. Like Drew does all the heavy lifting for this because he's like, here's the list, and I'm like, boom, thank you. And I come in and I just make pretty slides and talk about the books. Oh man, I'm literally crying because I'm laughing so hard. Oh, we'll pull it together. All right. So, as always, Drew comes in with proving that he counts beyond 5. He doesn't understand stopping at 5. And this month, I'm controversial because I didn't even get to 5, but I'll explain it later. There was just a lot of stuff that I read this month that was okay at best, but not. Sometimes I read something I'm like, yeah, that was okay, that was solid, but I feel like there's potential for it to be good or great. And there's a lot of stuff that I read this month that I was just like, okay. And that was it. Just baseline okay. I didn't really have a ton of excitement for thinking where it might go. Nothing about it made me like eager to read the next chapter. So I had 5 at first, and I just felt like I was going to be trying to justify why it was there as opposed to just being like, hey, you should check this out because there's potential here. So that being said, we're going to start off the night with our honorable mentions, and we've got Drewski coming in. So technically, Drew has 16 books picked, but 2 are from the same title. I gave them each their own slide, but coming in for the first book that we'll be covering tonight, and this is going to shock some people because we have not put this book on our list. We've dissed. I don't want to say dissed, but we haven't been favorable towards this book.
It hasn't been good
so far. Yeah, no, it hasn't been good. But the book that is making it into our honorable mentions is none other than Absolute Wonder Woman #6, written by Kelly Thompson with art by Mattia de... Yeah, man, this name. Mattia de Iulis. It's a I-U-L. So,
Lilith.
But he's an incredible artist. He's worked with Kelly before, so a while back, probably like maybe a year ago at this point. One of the books that I picked for one of my top 5 debuts was a book called The Culling, and he did the art for that. And my main praise was the art and how good it looks. And then he comes here and Jesus does a beautiful job. But Drew, go ahead and cover this. What did you like about it? What makes this? What improved here to let this enter into the top for us?
Yeah, I will say that Mattia, his art here really steps. If when you have the word absolute in your title, this is the type of art that I expect in an absolute book. This is ready for prime time. The artists they've had for the first 5 issues, no, that's indie level, not ready for prime time, does not deserve the absolute moniker. This artist, holy crap, I want to party with this cowboy. This guy's amazing. It's one of those things where you mean to tell me we could have had this guy the entire time? We could have had this guy for the first 5 issues, and now you're giving him a rando issue 6? What the hell is wrong with you? And he does a fantastic job telling the story with his art. Because all I'm going to say is, if you tried reading Kelly's prose in this, her purplish level prose, and they're horribly written purplish prose, it's going to make you feel dumb. But just follow the art, and it's beautiful. His art is incredibly beautiful. Initially I thought it wasn't legit. I thought this was like some AI shit. But I looked the guy up. I was studying him. I hunted Josh. And no, he actually pencils, he inks, and I guess he does some digital painting, digital coloring with his stuff, and it looks beautiful. And it has me excited to come back for the next issue. Hopefully, Kelly does a better job writing it.
Yeah, there was something about this book too, because even though I read the calling, there wasn't a lot of action in that first issue that I read, and I picked up the trade. I haven't read the trade yet. But it's a lot of people standing around talking, and it was still a beautiful book. And it was like his last page was a splash page in that really kind of got to show what he could do. But here, man, like, you got so many just badass, like, superhero shots, and that's the best way I can describe it. But by far the best this book has looked. It makes me wonder, why didn't they get him from like day one?
Yeah.
Because had he come in and started this book, it would have even had, I don't know. I think people's reception to it would have been completely different than it is.
100%.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that Wes and I would have been recommending it. Would have.
Yeah. It's just, it adds so much. Like it elevates things. Not only I can't even think of how to describe it. It looks more professional and high end, but it also looks more like a blockbuster too. And sometimes those things don't mix, and you get both. Like, it is a beautiful book, and it's a badass book.
Yeah, one critique people gave me for my knocking on the absolute books is like, oh, just because it has the absolute word in there doesn't mean you should hold it to a high standard. It's like, bullshit. I will be holding it to a high standard. When you have the word absolute in your title, you better goddamn well be bringing an absolute great artist and writer to your book. And it took them 6 issues, and they finally did it on this title.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was kind of the whole pitch of the absolute line, is they're getting the best talent to deliver the best stories, and that was the whole thing. Like, it's not going to necessarily be in continuity. We're just going to come in and do something that's big, bombastic, with great storytellers.
Yeah, and one of my favorite panels in this, I mean, there's a lot of great panels in this. One of them is, for me, is like seeing the rebirth of Pegasus come out. I love that panel. I love that panel. It's beautiful. But yeah, it's got to be excited to come back for the next issue. This is the very first time this has happened in the Absolute Wonder Woman series.
Yep. So definitely a good jumping on point. Maybe check this out at the very least.
I would say it is. It absolutely is. Yeah.
And hopefully Mattia stays for a while, because
hopefully DC, someone at DC goes against their goes against their current judgment and says, you know what, maybe we should keep him on.
Yeah, well, and the crazy thing too is, this is the type of artist that you should get when you're going to have like an event level storyline. This is the type of artist you get for that. Like,
yeah, he's a Riccardo Federici. This is the guy you need to be having on those big event books. And why he isn't, why this is the first time he's in it, and a random issue of Absolute Wonder Woman, I want to know the logic behind this.
Right. I'm with you there. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next honorable mention for March 2025, and that is Conan the Barbarian number 19, written by Jim Zub, with pencils by Doug Braithwaite and colors by Diego Rodriguez. A little bit of a fall from grace, but still, I mean, look, if it's here, it's worth reading. But we're kind of seeing some momentum slow down a little bit with Conan. Why do you think that is?
Well, I will say for me, the last couple issues we had before Doug on the art, the story it was okay. The artist, look, she's a competent artist, but it felt wrong for Conan. It didn't feel right for Conan what she was doing, and in the story, it was okay. It wasn't anything special. It was fine. However, this issue is a step back in the right direction. Doug Braithwaite's back on the art, and it's dealing with the fallout of that previous story, and it's him pretty much Conan versus the Tiger and Panther in this issue. And hey, it's fun. I recommend everyone check that out. Oh, you're muted.
I was gonna say, or what I was saying is, we know that Jim has like a ton of plans for this, and where he wants to take not only Conan as a character, but just that whole universe.
Yep.
So again, good time to catch up on this book, and then just kind of get ready for what's coming. So, and I think they have 4 trades, and they're easily digestible trades. They're like 5-issue trades, so they're easy to kind of take down and read, and so it doesn't feel like a chore, and it's great work, great artwork. But yeah, good work. Before we move on to the next honorable mention, I do want to say what's up to Kaiser Jose. He says, "What's up, boys?" We also have Cannoli Sasquatch in the house with "Hello, everyone." Hello, Cannoli. Welcome. I always talk about how I love Cannoli because he's kind of newer to diving into the world of comics, but he sent me a list of like, hey, this is what I picked up recently the other day, and all good picks, all fun picks. So we also have we got Rudy back in the chat. What's up, Rudy? And then the one, the only, the Nosferatu, the vampire, no homo, but Josh is so fucking goddamn sexy. Yeah. Oh my god. I want to burp him. You know what, Nos? I love you, man. Thanks for that. Nos is the wrong person to have in the chat tonight with how messed up I already am. Like, if anyone saw how I started the show, this could be a nightmare with Nos in the comments. So let's go ahead and move on to our next honorable mention for the month of March 2025. But we've got G.I. Joe, a real American hero, number 315, written by Larry Hama, pencils by Chris Mooneyham, and colors by Francesco Segala. Yet again, we talked about this last time, but the fact that Larry Hama is really kind of coming in guns blazing, and the timing of it with this whole Energon launch of G.I. Joe is great. Like, we're getting more G.I. Joe content than I can remember ever getting.
Yeah, we are. And the great thing is that not only are we getting more of it, but we're getting quality G.I. Joe. That's the important thing. We're getting more and it's quality. So I will gladly take that. This is the best G.I. Joe has been in a very, very long time, at least easily, I'm going to say 15 years. This is the best G.I. Joe has been. And this issue itself, it's a good issue. Like, it's a kind of a it's like that softball issue of the X-Men you'd always get in between events, kind of resetting the stage. It's a placeholder. This issue is kind of resetting the table where the Joes are, where the Cobras are, and we got Baroness. She's like hanging by a thread, and Destro's got Cobra Commander locked up. He's like, hey, if she doesn't make it, you're a goner. Does she make it? You gotta read to find out. Look, it's a fun read. It's a beautiful read, but it's not very exciting. Like I said, it's reestablishing things. So that's honestly a good jumping on point at this point. If you haven't read the past issues.
Heck yeah. This is one of the titles that I'm a little behind on, but I have the trade for this most recent like relaunch that they did with it, and it was a blast.
Chris Mooneyham, man, he kills it.
So gosh, I mean, just great stuff, man. And again, like we both kind of alluded to, the fact that you're getting so much G.I. Joe, but so much good G.I. Joe. You have a whole universe going over here with multiple titles, and then you have this book, which is kind of staying tried and true to what it's been. But it makes me happy, one, for Larry Hama. Like, I'm glad he's getting this kind of like hoorah, because the guy is not young. and he is
No,
still just coming in and just punching out some stories.
people forget he is a Vietnam vet. He is a
Mm.
Vietnam vet, still alive, still kicking, still writing, and a lot of people don't realize he didn't get paid that much. Back in the day,
No,
he didn't get any GI Joe residuals or anything. The toys, nothing. Even though he created most of the characters, given most of their backgrounds.
that's what I was gonna
Um,
say. Yeah,
yeah, I can
it's
only hope. What's that?
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I can only hope that the recent GI Joe Kickstarter that made quite a bit of money paid him a little bit because he's earned it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, when you break it down, the impact and what he's done for GI Joe, he is like the godfather of GI Joe.
Yeah,
So
GI Joe would not exist. Honestly, if GI Joe would have been a thing, but it would not be where it is now without him.
not at all.
That's a fact. That is an absolute fact.
Real quick before we move on, I do want to say a quick hello to Mrs. Sassy Sasquatch in the house, coming in with Joshy, Hard Eyes, Kissy, and I think that's a shocked face. Oh no. But that's not the only thing I want to pause and look at because hold please. You guys met your goal.
Oh, we did? Oh wow,
Yeah.
that was quick.
Woo.
Whoop.
Yeah, like not even an hour, a little under an hour, something like about that.
30, not even half an hour, barely half an hour. Yeah,
pretty much. So look, just because he's met his goal doesn't mean you guys in the chat can't go back it. Go pick up that. It's a freaking trade. Oh look, there you go. So yeah, definitely worth it. But dude, awesome. See, this is fun. This is nice when you can come on here, do a little stream, start off everybody and like, look, there's this going on, and then be like, oh yeah, hey, congrats, he made it. So
yeah. I thank you guys. Murat thanks you guys, and I hope you guys do check this out because it is an awesome, kick-ass story and a beautifully illustrated story as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, agreed on the art. So, but yeah, kudos. We might have to check. We'll have to check back in at the end to just see where we are, because at this point, like, you're definitely going to be above 2. You might even be above 25. Might even be above 35. Who knows? We'll see. We shall see. Back to March Comics. We're going to move on to our next honorable mention, and it is Green Lantern number 21, written by Jeremy Adams, pencils by Jack Herbert, and colors by Romulo Fajardo Jr. Now, I'm going to let you talk about this. I do have something that I want to say, and it's just strict. And I get what's going on. I'm fine with it. But I wish they would get this book to focus just more deeply on how. Because we have the other book to kind of highlight the other people. But I still think this is a good read. So, Drew, take it away. Why is this in our honorable mentions?
No, that's exactly why this is down in the honorable mentions, Josh. It's because it doesn't seem as focused as it was in the prior issues. And this is a story, honestly, as I'm reading through this, I kept flipping back to the cover thinking, is this the Green Lantern Corps book or is this Green Lantern? Because it doesn't feel right, because this really should have been focused on Hal. Because I'll be perfectly honest with you, that the interesting stuff comes later in the book when we get reintroduced to Hector Hammond and what he's doing with some of the, I guess, looks like some telepaths or telekinetics on Earth. And by the end of the book, it looks like, okay, it's going to get pretty nasty with Hector Hammond. But yeah, it's still an all right book. Like you said, it seems more scatterbrained, and I not too fond of that. I really wish it was more Hal focused in this book. That's what the Green Lantern Corps book is for. All these other sub characters. But it's still a fine read. It's a beautiful looking book. Jack Herbert is a terrific artist, and I'm glad he's doing the pencils for this. Yeah, you could do it. And Green Lantern still continues to be one of the best, if not the best, ongoing series at DC right now.
Agreed. And look, I don't want I wish to discredit this book at all. Like, what we've talked about this before, what Jeremy Adams is doing with the Green Lanterns, he has saved the Green Lantern title because it was not heading in a good direction.
No, it was destroyed. It was Jeffrey Thorne literally blew up the core. He blew up the power battery. There was no Green Lanterns. It didn't exist.
Yeah, it was not great, not great at all.
No.
And look, Jeremy put in the legwork to kind of bring us back, get us to a good starting point, and then he just kind of took off running with it. And this is the first time that this book has felt like an event level title with everything that they're doing. And I'm along for the ride. And what I think Jeremy is proving too is that he can do long form stories. So the fact that he's on multiple characters right now, for me, I think is a good sign long term for DC. And I don't even mean just during the issue run. I mean 10, 15, 20 years from now. There's a good chance when you go, oh, you know, what Green Lantern collections do you think are the best? Like he's gonna be up there with like the Jeff Johns. Like he's gonna have.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You know, and on my bookshelf for my Green Lantern stuff, I've got the Jeff Johns run, pre New 52. I've got the Robert Venditti run of Hal Jordan Green Lantern Corps.
Yep.
I've got the new compendium that came out, the Kyle Rayner compendium by Daryl Banks on the art. It's fantastic. And I'm also a sucker for the Emerald Dawn 2, so I got that trade. But this collection will probably eventually be on my bookshelf next to those.
Yeah, absolutely. Worthy of it too. So kudos to Jeremy. But yeah, like for me, I think just personally speaking, I would love for this to focus just more so on Hal. You've got the Green Lantern Corps book to really kind of bring everyone else in. And that's not to say don't let him show up here, but like keep the focus on Hal. Like that he's your foundation right here. So
yeah, he felt like a side character in his own title in this issue.
Yeah, and that's never really a good sign. But yeah. But yeah, CXLA says, I trust Adams will refocus the book back to Hal. Agreed. I do too.
Likewise. Yeah, he's earned it. He's earned my trust.
Look, we don't get to nitpick Jeremy Adams, so I'm just going to nitpick Jeremy Adams. I love Jeremy Adams. I just have to nitpick him a little bit. Yeah. Moving on to our next honorable mention, we've got Flash Gordon number 7, once again written by Jeremy Adams, pencils by Tom Derenick, and colors by Lee Lawfridge. Another book, man, that's just been freaking fun. Last month we had that nice kind of like, you know, we kept waiting for that shoe to drop, so to speak, and it happened, and now we're carrying forward. So go ahead and tell us about this. Why is it in honorable mentions, and why should people be checking out Flash Gordon if they're not?
Yeah, it's still a fun read, and what Jeremy Adams here has done to those who are coming in late to the party on Flash Gordon is that Flash Gordon is roughly a 70, 80-year-old franchise at this point, and it's been pretty much, you know, dead for the longest time. And Jeremy Adams has really brought back life into the series, and he's made it a fun, action-packed, kick-ass, easy read. You know, he doesn't bog you down with a lot of lore, backstories, nonsensical characters, but like everything is very story driven and character driven, and like great characters in this, great action sequences. And in this issue, it's we finally get reintroduced to the Hawkmen. If you're familiar with the movie from the 80s, the Hawkmen, they're back here in this issue, and Flash Gordon has gets into little fisticuffs with one of the Hawkmen in this, and it's great. And we see what happened to Flash's now ex, what she's doing now with the throne, and it doesn't look too good. So Flash has to maybe go confront her, maybe in the future. But still, yeah, do check this out. It's a fun read. The art takes look. I'm not dissing Tom Derenick. He does a great job, but it's not Will Conrad. Will Conrad's flipping amazing artist. But this is still really good.
Yeah. No, agreed. It's always kind of a little jarring too when you really kind of get your vibe with an artist and then it changes. But yeah, I'll agree with you. Tom Derenick, solid artist, but it is a little just different. But no, I wholeheartedly stand behind this. This is one of those things which I don't want to sound like a broken record on here, but we always talk about If you told us 2 years ago that in 2024 and 2025 we'd be excited and praising the hell out of a Flash Gordon book, I think would have been like,
And
yeah, right.
Conan in the same year.
And Conan, like we're like, yeah, sure, buddy, okay. But man, like both of these titles, just a ton of fun. I always look for, and that's the thing too. Like even when Jeremy may not be technically the best, quote unquote, like I always go into his books excited and walk away like feeling excited about what I read. Like, and that there's plenty, and I guess what I'm saying is there's plenty of stuff that I can look at and go, oh man, technically that was a really good book or a really good movie, but I have no desire to revisit it ever again. Like I read it, it's done, thank you. This is stuff that I can have fun going back and visiting over and over again. So
yeah, if not for the story, just for the art alone.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to our next honorable mention, and that is going to be G.I. Joe #5. So not to be mistaken with G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, but this is the Energon New Universe G.I. Joe #5, written by Joshua Williamson, pencils by Tom Riley, and colors by Jordi Belair. So give us a little rundown, Drew. What's happening in G.I. Joe #5?
Well, up to about this point, through issue 5, the Joes have pretty much lost almost every battle they've been in, and it really feels like the Cobras have had their shit together. Like Cobras know what they're doing, and Cobra Commander and Destro are on the same wavelength, while the Joes just aren't. But it really feels like with this issue 5, things take a bit of a turn. It looks like Duke. He may have a plan. He may know what's going on here. He may have a plan to get him out of things. And yeah, so things may be turning for the better for the Joes. Also, I'm going to say on this issue, but yeah, it's still a fun, action-packed, kinetic read. Tom Riley is a beautiful artist. He does a great job. He has a great cartoonish style, which fits. I feel like it fits the GI Joes and fits the story. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you're not really familiar with the Joes, this is a great jumping on point.
Indeed. I completely agree. I've got to highlight a comment real quick because we have the comic crusader himself, Maxfield Von Priestley, coming in MVP with, are we still in honorable mentions? Laugh out loud. Shut up, Max. God. Yes, we are still on honorable mentions because we have good books to cover. And if we're being technical, no, there's not more honorable mentions than our top 5s, but almost this week. It got real close. So, yeah, take that, buddy. But yes, we were still on honorable mentions. Thank you for being here. Drew had Conan at like number 16, 15, something like that. So you should, go complain to him in the comments.
Yeah.
People, anyone that's never seen my channel before or shows gonna be like, what is up with this guy? Why is he trying to run a channel? I promise I'm worse tonight than I normally am. Max, you'll have to go back to the very start of the show because it was a train wreck. Oh yeah, look, oof, that's low. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's Drewski. He explains it well though.
I got high standards.
High standards. Not all of us put Conan as their number 1 every year. Okay, Mm-hmm. All right. By the way, still one of my favorite moments from 2 years ago where I think I had Conan the Barbarian at like number 6 and Max was like, whoa, that's low. And then you and Kyle both came in right after me with it. I'm like, yeah. All right. Moving on to our next honorable mention, we have Hyde Street #4, written by Jeff Johns with art by Ivan Rice and colors by Brad Anderson. So this is going to be one of those fun books that's kind of got like a whole crap. Why can't I think of the movie or the TV show now? Twilight Zone type vibe. Every issue is a little different. You do get to see recurring characters. But Drew, what happens here? How is he keeping us just kind of plugged in with Hyde Street?
So this character, so the past few issues we've gotten reintroduced to characters who are more or less collecting souls of people who pass through Hyde Street, and we get introduced to the backstory of this Frankenstein type character We learned that he was an actor at one point. There's a lot of this. It really reminded me of a Clayface. Reminded me of Basil Carlo. But
Yep.
it's still a great parallel, and I enjoyed it here. This actor who was playing Frankenstein in movie pictures, and eventually he does something pretty bad to another actor because he gets a little jealous. Hey, I guess that's Hollywood, and he gets sent to High Street in his makeup as Frankenstein, and now he's collecting souls. But this is his journey. You see how he got here, how he wound up there, and it's beautifully illustrated by Ivan Reis. And yeah, it's just it's a fun introduction to a new recurring character.
Yeah, I've been trying to pinpoint to me what feels different about Ivan's art here, and I will admit that I'm not as knowledgeable about art and techniques and how they approach things, but there was something distinctly different about his art in this book than what he does. And I've always thought Ivan is like top tier, one of the best artists. But there's just something uniquely different that he's doing here, and I have no idea what it is.
Well, I will say I do agree because, like you said, he does have a unique style. And I've been following him for well over a decade,
Yeah.
at least, if not more, 15 years now, and he's always been very, very intricately detailed in his art. But there was a period about a couple years ago where it really felt like he was kind of, I don't want to say short timing it, but just kind of he saw the shortcuts and he was taking those. But it seemed with Hyde Street and everything with Ghost Machine, he's been reinvigorated and he's found that love again, and he's really showing it with his interiors. Because if you're doing interiors, Rob Liefeld and others have said this. If you're doing interiors, that's through usually through a love of doing comics, a love of comics.
Yep.
And by him being this intricately detailed, you can tell he's loving what he's doing.
Yeah, no, I mean, that to me makes perfect sense. I was trying to see how old he is, but I can't.
He's got to be pushing 50, if not older.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's not like a young dude, and usually you start seeing them slow down and take more shortcuts, and go into less detail. But my God, he's just like, I don't know. I've said this before, but I do think this is honestly some of his best work he's ever done. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I
do
think I think you're right as well. I think when you start working on something that you love, and that you find a lot of passion in, it makes you want to do better. And heck, maybe some of those shortcuts that we were seeing at DC and stuff, didn't really have anything to do with the story, except for the Arkham Tower nonsense.
I was going to say, hey, if you're working with Mariko Tamaki, I can't blame you if you're taking shortcuts.
Right. But maybe some of it was just like he had to get in on timelines because, God, they're not always nice to their artists with the timelines they give them. Even their writers, like I've talked about, times that I've had some of their writers come up and say, we had 2 days or 3 days to turn in a script. And, and that on its own, not necessarily a hard thing, but when you're in the middle of an arc and they're suddenly telling you, hey, we're scrapping what the plans were, so you need to find a way to change this arc and go this direction now, not always the easiest task. But kudos to whatever Jeff Johns is doing for these guys over at Ghost Machine from a timeline standpoint, whatever. I just appreciate the work they're doing because it seems like they're focused on quality. Like, let's come in and deliver a good book. Let's not rush. And as someone who collects and reads comics, that's nice because think about how many times you're reading something from the big two that starts off incredibly well, whether it's an event or a run. And then there's periods where you can tell they just rush stuff, or they get fill-in artists or a separate artist to buy time for something. And it just ruins the lore or the atmosphere that's there. Yeah. So, Max said he dropped Hyde Street from a pull list to save money. Okay, but now I'm regretting seeing this art. Yeah, I mean, look, I will say that Hyde Street for me is one of those books that I don't always feel like I have to read right away because of how the story's told. So I get it, man. Like, there are certain books that you feel like you got to pick up and read each week, or each time it releases. So And that's not a knock on quality. Just some things it's like you want to get to before you start hearing about it. This is one of those I can sit back and just take my time with it.
Yeah, there's a priority on things,
Correct.
Like Batman 158 last week. That took priority because it's like, all right, let's see what they got.
Yeah. We may or may not be talking about that in a second. That may or may not have fallen into my list. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll explain. Yeah, we'll get there. But first, we're gonna look at our next honorable mention, and it is Space Ghost number 10, written by David Pepos, art by Jonathan Lau, and colors by Andrew Dahlhaus. So we have this, but we also have Space Ghost number 11 with the same creative team. So let's talk about these books real quick. And what did Pepos do for 10 and 11? That, I mean, look, he's been knocking this book out of the park. But what happens in these two issues that really kind of give this nice little push here?
But yeah, no, you bring up another great point. You had said several minutes ago, like if you had said a couple years ago that we'd be so championing Flash Gordon and Conan the same year, what was the likelihood that we'd be championing Space Ghost, Flash Gordon, and Conan in the same year as the best? I would have been like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Not only that, but also saying it's a better book than like Batman and Spider-Man.
Yes, objectively, that is objectively true in any way, in any metric, and the X franchise.
Yeah,
the entire X line.
the entire X line. Yep.
So what David Pepos is doing here on the issue 10 is that he's pretty much setting the stage for what's to come in the future of Space Ghost. So we get introduced to the Space Ghost of the future. Space Ghost of Christmas Past shows up and pays a visit to Space Ghost, alluding to things that are going to happen, and they're not good. So it is, of course, beautifully illustrated by Jonathan Lau. Mm-hmm. I highly encourage everyone to check that out because he's setting things up for the future. I hope they all get paid off because what he's setting up is going to get pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And in issue 11, this is maybe we see those kind of that first step with maybe that this is going to be see the beginning of the split of the family or the team, if you will. What's going to happen? Is one of them going to leave? It seems like it. We'll see what happens. But once again, Jonathan Lau on the art. I got to give all the compliments in the world to Jonathan Lau. He has done every single issue so far. And every single issue has been a banger.
Yep.
And like I said, it is only a matter of time before some jackass eventually at Marvel or DC says, you know what? This guy's pretty good. Maybe we should give him something. Just wait. He's going to be on something at Marvel or DC eventually.
Yeah. This guy's pretty good. We should put him on Fire and Ice. Welcome or Return to Smallville season 2.
Or we should put him on the next Kamala Khan run. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. She's not going to be a mutant anymore. We'll go back to not Eternals, but Inhuman. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna put him on.
Yeah, she said she just big fist. She's good at fisting things. Good at fisting people. So, yeah.
Her in beginning now, she's just gonna look super jacked. We're gonna She-Hulk her up a little bit.
It's like Quagmire. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I will agree. It's only a matter of time before Jonathan Lau. So Jonathan Lau, and I do think look, it's like apples and oranges here. Both are great, but I'm going to compare him to Dan Mora. I think it's only a matter of time before they notice, oh, there's something to be had here, and they scoop him up. Because that's how I felt about Dan Mora. When he was doing his work. What's the
World's Finest?
No, before he came to DC, he had that indie book. Gosh, I can't even think who writes it.
Was it? Wait. It wasn't Rogue Sun, was it? No, it wasn't Rogue Sun.
I don't think so. Hold on. This is gonna drive me crazy.
Was he on Power Rangers? No.
Well, he may have done Power Rangers. Hold on. because it's gonna make me. It's gonna make me Once and Future.
I think he. Oh, that's right. That
Yeah.
one.
I
Yeah.
remember seeing that and really being blown away by his art more than anything else for that, and just being like, oh man, like this guy. Once they realize like how good he is and what they have there, he's like gonna blow up. And then when Boom relaunched Buffy, he was the artist for Buffy, and it was so freaking good. And sadly, I think we only got like 6 issues with him, and then DC scooped him up. So that being said, I hope we get, as much as I want to see Jonathan Lau go on and do some of these huge characters, I hope we get him a little longer on Space Ghost.
Me too.
Like if we can get to at least 24 issues, like give us a good like omnibus size type book, like hey, do it. Like if he can stick around for that long, and then yeah, scoop him up when we have good stories for him to tell at DC or Marvel. How about that? So I do want to highlight Jamin D. He came in with Space Ghost, solid picks from issue number 1. Yeah, since the word go, this book has been good. And then I want to highlight something else Jamin said, because I missed this comment earlier, but it was in reference to G.I. Joe. But Drew, he said they have to introduce Snake Eyes soon. My boy needs a solid entrance.
Yeah, that's true. And one of the things that one of the theories I do like is that people seem to think that maybe we've already been introduced to the Snake Eyes in this universe. Maybe there is a Joe already that we've seen that is Snake Eyes. But perhaps it's a new character. We'll find out.
We'll find out. All righty. So, are we ready to move on to our next honorable? We have 2 more honorable mentions before we get into our top 5. So, coming up for our next honorable mention, we have Geiger, number 12, written by Jeff Johns, art by Gary Frank, and colors by Brad Anderson. So, again, I feel like this book just kind of continues to keep going. What happens in issue 12? And do we ever think it's gonna do you feel like it's building to something that could help us get like over that good to great hump, I guess?
I think that's going to be I really feel like that's going to be happening in the next issues, because the reason why I say that is because this issue is kind of really setting the stage for what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, especially when you get to the end, like the last couple pages, it's like, oh, okay. Because I don't want to spoil it, but anyway, we have the female Geiger in this.
Yep.
She has brought Geiger into her sanctuary, where it's safe, and she's told him, "Look, hey, I've been cured. We can cure you. All you gotta do is not lose your shit, and because if you keep doing that, you're gonna die." And eventually, he does lose his shit again. But she's just like, "Look, you gotta stop this, or you're gonna burn yourself out, and you're gonna die." And it looks like he's gonna take her up on the offer. But is it a legit offer? Oh, it wasn't too much. But anyway, it is a fantastic read. It is beautifully illustrated. Once again, Gary Frank. Do check this out. It is setting the stage for what's to come, as well as some subplots with a certain robotic character that may show up.
Yeah. That we may or may not know. Yeah. Okay. Drewski, we have a fan in the chat, but Nadia is here with Drew. You know what I want, and it's the feetsies.
Hi.
He's waving with his toes. You know, we are a fully faceted channel here at Pop by Culture. Not only do we bring you nerd things from comics, film, and television, but we get Drew to give you his feet. So there you go. She's coming in with laugh my ass off. I love it. Hello, Nadia. It is good to see you. I hope you're doing well, my friend. I'm sad. So sad. I will not see you in Vegas, but it's fine. I'll just have to come out there another time so I can see you. That's all it is.
Next time, baby.
Next time, baby. Alrighty, moving on to our final honorable mention of the night. We have Feral, number 11, coming in, written by Tony Fleeks with art by Trish Forstner and colors by Tony Rodriguez. Start of a new arc here. So, I will say when you're starting a new arc, things usually kind of slow down a little bit, and we just had some crazy wild ending to the previous arc. But go ahead and fill us in here. What happens here? And do you feel like it's a good jumping on point? Because I'm like, yo, don't jump on here, just catch up.
Yeah, I'd say catch up at this point because in this issue we see one of the characters we've been following up to this point. He's been turned, and I don't want to spoil who it is, but let's just say by the end of the issue, it doesn't turn out too well for them because it's pretty much the cats against the bear in this, and who's been infected. Because we're seeing that not only has this new rabies virus gone from cats to like other life, it's gone to humans now, and now some bears are getting infected with it, and it's not pretty. So, and on top of that, the cats may have picked up another little kitten who showed up out of nowhere, like a little cute guy, and pretty interesting. It's like, so I'm a guy who hates cats. I despise them. But this book has gotten me to care for cats and to care for the cats in this series, and that they can make it out of this one piece. I highly encourage everyone check this out. It's a great 28 days later, but involving cats and animals. And Tony and Trish do a great job getting you to be concerned for the well-being of these cats, and that they can make it out alive, because they go through some crazy shit. And in the previous issues, dealing with a hoarder, and now they're back in the woods and having to evade bears. Yeah, it's getting wild.
Yeah, the pacing that these guys have with these issues is honestly, I think it's expert because they are coming out in a way that you're eager to pick up each issue each month. And so I guess the only way I can explain this, some books work really well on a monthly release, and then you get the collection and it doesn't work as well. And some books are the opposite. They work terribly on a monthly release, and then you get it in a collection, you're like, oh wow, that's much better than I remember it being. I feel like Feral works both ways. Like, whether you read it monthly, like you're always excited to get it, but when you sit down and read the collection, it just the gut punches punch. It's, I mean, you feel it each month, but no, this is really good, and I like I like the ebb in the flow that it has. Like, it's always a little crazy, but you get your peaks of crazy, and they come down, and they'll settle things down a little bit, and they'll kind of shift the kind of direction and focus and go so that it continues feeling fresh. And that's not always the easiest. Like, look, at the end of the day, it is a zombie story being told from the perspective of cats. That's something that could get old very quick. And that was something I was worried about, because if you go back, you remember me asking, do you think it's a good idea that this is an ongoing versus a limited series? Because when they did Stray Dogs limited series, but here they're just proving like, no, we've got stories to tell. So just come along the journey with us. And I've even referenced that, I have a book club that I do with my local comic shop. And sometimes we talk about what we're reading, and the thing that always comes up each time we do this is, did you read the latest issue of Feral? That has been the one consistent thing that almost everyone in that club is reading.
Yeah.
So
it's a catcher. It has a very frantic pace.
Yeah.
Just like the 28 Days Later films. And the other thing is, when you have a film at that frantic pace, you need to be concerned for these characters. And like I said, they do a great job of getting you, the reader, concerned for these characters.
I love the characters. And like you, I'm not the biggest cat person. I mean, I love animals, but I'm a dog person over a cat person.
Yeah.
I have too many breakable things. I can't have cats. Like,
well, not just that, dogs won't smother you when you sleep. They don't kill babies.
They won't slit your throats. Yeah. I mean, my dog might smother me, but it's just because he's like trying to give me cuddles, and I have to be like, "Hey, you're suffocating me. Move." But if I tell a cat to move, it's just gonna look at me like, "No, I'm not moving. Die." All right, let's move into our top 5. So once again, just a reminder, I only have 4 books this week because I'm an asshole loser. But Drew came in more than Clutch Horse. So Drew, we're gonna look at your first or your number 5 pick for March of 2025, and it is Aquaman number 3, written by Jeremy Adams, art by John Timms, with colors by Rex Locus. So great start to this book, and we're kind of really picking things up a little bit, but tell us what happens here.
So, in this issue, we see Arthur growing up, and we see why his dad did what he did, and at the lighthouse, why it's still necessary, why it despite things have changed since then, but like we see why his dad still does what he does at the lighthouse, and how that story more or less transpires to what's going on now in Arthur's situation. And now in this darker realm, he finds out that he may be this new dark god in this universe, and kind of like in more or less like a King Arthur in this situation, because we're bringing in the original Atlantean god in this, and the Lady of the Lake in this. So it's taking on some Arthurian legends, folklore going on here, and it's a fun wild ride, and it's a beautifully illustrated fun wild ride in this. And I can't really wait to see what happens next. Each issue has got me coming back to see more and more and more, because it's a new type of new type of style of story we're getting from on King Arthur and
Yeah.
Arthur Curry. So I dig it. If you're not familiar with Aquaman, and this is a great jumping off point.
Yeah, I mean we're 3 issues in, so it's worth just picking up all 3. But I'll agree. You said something I think is important here. It's different, and not different in a bad way, and not different even in terms of like, oh my god, this changes everything. It's just a different approach. Um, and it's one of those things that I think a lot of times when writers approach Aquaman, they come in with like you think of kind of like the bigger stories that he's known for and what's kind of helped kind of solidify that character. And it's almost like they try to dive right back into that. And this instead of is like, hey, we're gonna acknowledge that, but we're gonna kind of shift over this direction. Um,
Yeah,
if that makes sense. But
it
no, I'm
does.
liking it because it does. Like too many times, I feel like writers try to retread, and I don't feel like he's trying to retread. I feel like he's trying to acknowledge and kind of flesh out certain things while also kind of going down its own path. So, I'm super excited for the same reasons I discussed about Green Lanterns. I'm excited for Aquaman. I think Jeremy Adams has a lot that he can do with this book if we just leave him alone and let him do it. Um, yeah, vast, endless stories you can tell. There's more water, there's more ocean than land, and we have plenty of land superheroes. So there's so much you can do here.
Yeah, and now
But
Aquaman can control water actually now.
yeah,
So yeah, like I said, story is
which
changing.
only makes him even more of a badass. I know he gets, as the butt of the joke sometimes. Oh, it's Dolphin Boy. Oh, yeah. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our number 4 picks for March 2025, and I do have selections here, and I do have the book that I said you may or may not see on the list. Oh, actually, no, there's one more before it. Whoops, my bad. Coming at number 4 on my list, I have Far Down Below number 1, written by Chris Condon with art by Gage Shaw. I'm assuming that's how you say his name.
Sure.
This is an interesting story because it's really focusing on 2 boys in their teens. You start the book off with a scene that happens well before these kids are come into play or are introduced. But this appears to be a haunted house type horror type story. And this issue is a lot of just setup and getting you familiar with your 2 main characters, and it's these teenage kids. Is it like knock it out of the park? No, but it was done well enough that I'm curious to see what comes next, and that's why I kind of put it here. Like, I think it's okay to good, and that's not a bad thing. But I will also say Chris Condon. Sometimes I think he's a good writer. I've read a lot of stuff that I think of his that I think is good. He's missing the mark a little bit with Green Arrow, but more positives than negativities in my book with him. But the one thing I will say is I don't know how suited he is for comics because I always feel like his first issues feel underwhelming. Like he doesn't give you that like new issue punch. It's like and I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing, but he's looking at the story holistically and the pacing holistically, which sometimes means your first issue is slow. And there's nothing here that just completely hooks you. And that's, to me, that can be a problem when you have so much competition in comics. But I will say also by the end of the issue, there's enough intrigue here as the two boys go to this haunted house, which might be within the family line of one of them. But there's so much mystery involving the house and why it's haunted, and what happened, and why don't they live there. And then you get teases as well. So a lot of potential here. We'll see how it turns out, but we're gonna keep looking into it. We do have Kaiser Jose coming in with "We're taking everyone down with this" is my pick for March. You might see a little something there, Kaiser. So, Drew, did you happen to check this out or no?
I did. I thought it was okay. I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't bad. I guess I could follow it for the most part. But like I said, I hope they can follow through in the next issue because they're setting up an interesting story.
Yeah, and that's going to be the thing. Like, this is going to be one of those books that I'll give it another issue to see where it goes. I feel like it has earned at least that. But if I still feel like, it could be okay by the end of the second issue, then I'll most likely trade weight and just kind of download it all at once and then go from there. But at least worth looking into if this feels like it might be kind of your cup of tea or genre. So not for everyone, but we'll say a solid start and see what happens next.
Yeah.
Moving on to your number 4 pick for March 2025, we've got Red Coat, number 10, written by Jeff Johns, art by Brian Hitch, and colors by Brad Anderson. I think we're pretty universal in saying this has become our favorite Ghost Machine book because, my God, is it just fun? Week after week after week, this book is a fun book. But we've got Annie Oakley here.
Yeah, and this is what happens in this book, the action, the dialogue. This is what I wanted in the Johnny Appleseed issue, and we didn't really get that, which is kind of disappointing for me. But this issue with Annie Oakley, it's great seeing them one-upping each other in their little shooting competitions because each one gets crazier and crazier and more ludicrous than the next. But at the same time, we see a real-world situation transpiring where our heroes here are, they've got to take action and they got to take out the bad guys. We learn that Simon, he can't do it. He can't. Because he says that every time he involves himself, things get cocked up. He messes up. But it's great seeing what happens. I'm going to let you read and see what it is. But yeah, this is a fun series. And Brian Hitch, another artist, around for a very long time, but he's bringing his A game in this.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's hard to think of times where I don't feel like artistically Brian didn't bring his A game, but this is again. I do think it just comes down to however Jeff Johns is approaching the production of these books. It feels like he's letting his artists have more time, but they're coming. I mean, this in particular has come out monthly, just one after the other. So who knows? But yeah, I love this book. I think it's a ton of fun. This is the one book that I hope more people catch on to, because this is the book that I think would make. And look, I'm not saying that you should write comics to make TV shows or movies or anything, but I do think that you could have a TV show or movie with the Ghost Machine book, and that could potentially help the comics, like get more people aware to what's out there. And I think this could make a fun show. Like there's so much you can do here. But yeah, I want more people reading Ghost Machine. That's honestly what it comes down to. And for me, this is the book that just continues to give back and stays consistent. And can't really say anything else about it. So we keep seeing more American folklore. I'm down for it. I hope they do more, and I hope they're not afraid to just really dive into these characters. So
same.
Yeah. But as you can see, sorry, I didn't show the art. Beautiful art by Hitch. Hitch does motion really well. Like it's got a nice kinetic energy. So, and then even that first page, like a ton of dialogue, but also doesn't ruin the page. So sometimes you see a wall of dialogue and you're like, oh God, but it's like, all right, let's go. We're gonna move on to our number 3 picks for the month of March 2025, and coming in for me, I have Batman 158, written by Jeff Loeb, art by Jim Lee, and colors by
Wow.
Alex Sinclair. No, okay, no, hold on. I'm gonna my number 3, my number 4 are in. There's potential here, so they're in that listing. So I'm putting them here for that. But if I'm being honest, like there was a lot of stuff that I read that I just didn't have any feelings for, and I didn't feel like I could walk away this week with only 2 entries being like, these are good, go get them. So what I will say is, I mean, look, think about the other stuff that we read, Drew, like The Mummy, absolute
Yeah.
shit.
Yep.
Martian Manhunter, some people liked it, some people loved it. I was not in that category. Mad Cave had like 3 other books come out that just weren't even close to being as good as whatever I just talked about, the whatever down. So a lot of not great debuts, but do I have a lot of faith in Hush 2? No. Have I been pretty vocal about saying that I think the original Hush is overrated? Yes. However, I've also talked about the original Hush being a great marketing book. And I'm hoping this can kind of do the same thing, like play with some characters, do some fun stuff, and maybe kind of reinvigorate some energy into the Batman line. I felt like this issue was very paint by numbers, but if Jeff Loeb can come in and just give us this issue to set up a few things and then run with it, because it's a shorter run than what he typically does for his books. Like he's not doing 12 issues. I think it's only 8, right?
Yeah.
So
It's that.
there's
Yeah.
there's a good chance that this book can start just like firing. We'll have to wait and see. Again, I don't know if this debut issue actually I'm just gonna say it's not what DC is hoping it will be, based on story. I mean, if it has banger sales, it's gonna be from name alone, but there's still a chance. I mean, like we could see some fun. There's some intrigue here concerning Talia. The whole reveal that they've been compromised and infiltrated the Bat family is obvious. But we'll see what happens. So I know it wasn't your favorite. I'm not going to say it was my favorite either, but I'm willing to see what comes next. And maybe I have rose-colored glasses because Chip Zdarsky's one was that bad that I'm glad that we're getting something that's okay.
I'll take the okay. I'll take the it's just okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can agree it's better than Chip Zdarsky's.
Yes.
And we can hope that it builds and delivers. But yeah, we'll see. Kaiser Jose put OJ Hush was a fantastic book, but I'm also relatively new to Batman books. Look, yeah, I think, and I actually had this conversation with my LCS owner. I think Batman Hush is a good book for people that are newer to Batman, because, for me, in a lot of ways, it felt like a very obvious book when reading it, and it didn't fully land the way that I like a lot of Batman books to land. But it's a fun book. That's why I say it's a great marketing book. Like it's a good thing to get people into Batman. And yeah, the way Poison Ivy was in control, Superman was sick. See, that's one of the things that I'm not as crazy about, but different people love it for different reasons. And that's the great thing with comics. So, all right, Drew, your number 3 pick for March 2025 is, we didn't show off the art. Let's pause for a second to talk about this, because this is, for me, one of the bigger problems here. Jim Lee feels like he's phoning it in. Drew?
Yes.
Are you there?
Yeah. I'm just thinking, I'm really thinking about this because in this issue, Jim, it's sad because you can see as we progress in this issue, Jim's pencils get a heck of a lot looser, and Scott really steps in.
Yeah.
And it really, you see this throughout the issue. So early on, it's very tight, but as we progress, Jim is pulling back, and we see Scott is stepping in. And it's okay. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just okay. I'll give it that.
Do you think Jim's gonna finish all 8 issues?
I think so, but I think we're going to see, even starting with the next issue, Scott Williams will have picked up more heavy lifting on the art.
For sure. Yeah. And look, the thing too with Jim is even when he's kind of like loose on his art, he's still better than 99% of the people at Marvel right now. So
That's true.
But if you're gonna do it, this is my thing. If you're gonna do it, do it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, moving on to your number 3 pick. It's another Batman book, Batman Dark Patterns #4, written by Dan Waters with art by Hayden Sherman and colors by Trona Farrell. So this is something that we started off loving, kind of fell off a little bit at the end of that first story arc, a nice quick three issue arc. And then this one kind of comes in and delivers with a pretty strong debut. So go ahead and tell us about this. What did you like about it? And what are you hoping to see from this story?
No, you're right. We had jumped off of on this series, but and I gave this one a read because I'm like, okay, maybe it's a new story, or maybe it'll get better. And holy crap, did it! Because we're inside this apartment building, this old haunted apartment building, and it appears that this apartment building may have been conquered by a certain rogue of Batman's. And let's just say I've never seen that rogue used in this way before, and it is frightening. It's cool, and I dig it. I'm coming back for the next issue.
Yeah,
with the character they chose, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense, sure. So yeah, I can go with it. You can too. I highly recommend everyone check out Batman Dark Patterns. It is a very fun read. Very thought provoking.
I don't know what their full plan is for this Dark Patterns title, but the fact that they're coming in with these shorter stories reminds me of Legends of the Dark Knight.
Yes.
And I kind of hope that they do that, and it gives them the opportunity to bring in different writers, different artists, whatever, tell quick, just like really impactful stories. I hope that's what they do. And yeah, I agree with you. This issue really kind of just, I mean, whatever ill will I had following issue 3, this one just came in and knocked it out of the park for me. So I was like, all right, I'm on board more so than I think I ever was. So
yeah,
hopefully he sticks this landing. Come on, Dan Waters, I need you to stick this landing for me. Like it's a 3 issue arc, so just nail it, please.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and move on to our number 2. So my number 2 pick for March 2025 is we're taking everyone down with this #1. This was I mean, look, the entire time I was reading this book, and it's a double-sized issue, I was enjoying it. I was trying to figure out, what was fully going on because there's mystery here. But I was also I didn't know how to completely feel about the lead characters because I wasn't sure if they're good guys or bad guys, and even by the end of this issue, you don't completely know. But there is some interesting stuff that happens here. You've got a doctor that's kind of doing research, and you know that he's working on something that's important for the world, but they don't dive into what. He's got a daughter who's, kind of a pain in the butt and a little annoying, but I can also understand why. And just shit happens. That's all I can say. Is I don't want to ruin anything, but they've got these like Sentry type robots that are protecting them where they are, and they kind of play babysitters to his daughter, this girl, and you can tell she's just deprived of human connection, and she's desperate to kind of have a relationship with her father. So she's kind of being rebellious to try to get some time with him. But you learn the consequences and the stakes that are at play, by the end of the issue. And honestly, it's just a snapshot of the stakes that are at play because we don't know the full extent of everything here. But I thought there's a lot of really good stuff in this book. Some of the best writing I think I've ever seen from Matthew Rosenberg, which is, I don't typically have hang Matthew Rosenberg in the highest regards as a writer. So for me, I thought this was a solid book. If I'd read it without knowing it was him, I would not know that it was him. And I guess that's the best compliment I can give him. This to me is like his David Pepos moment, like David Pepos is with Space Ghost. Like it just feels like it's good work. So did you happen to read this or no?
Yeah, no, I didn't read this simply because of Matt Rosenberg. I saw that name.
Yeah,
No,
See,
thanks.
and that's the thing. Like, I'm that guy too that I'll look at Matthew Rosenberg stuff and go, eh. But maybe I'm learning I should at least give him a chance because I liked Batman Offworld. Well, I liked
Well,
what I had read of it.
that was Jason Aaron.
Oh, that was Jason Aaron. Never mind. Matthew Rosenberg. What did he do for DC recently?
I don't think he did anything for DC recently. I know he did
The
Hawkeye at
well, he
Marvel.
did the Nightmare, the night. He was on those Nightmare, whatever the Night Terror.
He did the Joker one. That was terrible.
Yeah, that was so bad, so bad.
Yeah.
God. Okay, Matthew Rosenberg. Look, I was giving you credit that you don't deserve because I was slapping your name on Batman Offworld. But take that away. This is still a really good debut. Even Kaiser Jose said this is his pick for the month. And I agree. It's a really good start. So if they can keep this up, then I have no idea what we're in for. Because it really I'll just say it gets explosive at the end. So yeah. Drew, we're going to move on to your number 2 pick for March 2025, and it is Transformers number 18, written by Daniel Warren Johnson, art by Jorge Corona, and colors by Mike Spicer. So this team continuing to kill it. I feel like Jorge Corona is actually getting better and better and better with each issue. And as you can see here, just a fun use of colors. So go ahead and tell us about this. Transformers is something we've always kind of had in our top and honorable mentions, but it's ebbed and flowed in being in the top 5, and it's now re-entered the top 5.
Yeah. So, like you said, each stories ebb and flow with the flow of action and violence. It's hard to maintain that constant level of action and violence, but here we really see that the action is just getting crazier and crazier. Things are really ramping up. We got the introduction of a new Autobot that was created from the previous issue. He's stepping in to help him out, and it gets pretty wild and crazy. And the story, it's like, I think 4 different storylines going on in this, and we're following 4 different groups as they're dealing with the events going on. And let's just say for the Autobots, it's not pretty in any way, shape, or form for what's going on in most of the stories that involve them. And it sure as hell isn't good for anyone by the end of this book. And when you got Optimus pulling a "fuck this shit, I'm out," it is not good, because the one character we've been waiting to come back, waiting to be introduced, he shows up at the end of this, and you can bet your bottom dollar that it's going to get pretty ugly for everyone in the next issues. Beautifully illustrated. And the stuff with Ultra Magnus, he pretty much has PTSD with what happened with all the Autobot Decepticon wars, and we're seeing the fallout from him for him mentally. But hopefully he can come back from that and be the true Autobot leader I know he can be. But yeah, it's a fun, wild ride, and so beautifully illustrated.
Yeah. Jorge Corona, man, like, this is probably going to go down as the book that he's remembered for, which is interesting because Daniel Warren Johnson started off the art for the book, and I don't know, like, Jorge Corona was just a name that I was never crazy about before.
Yeah.
Like, I'd read his stuff and it was fine, it was different, but something about this and him kind of taking on what Daniel Warren Johnson did, and staying true to that, but still having his own, like, just I guess, inflection to it. It's working, man. Like, this is a beautiful book. Yeah. And I think it was Lee Lockridge on colors. No, Mike Spicer. Sorry, Mike Spicer on colors here. Mike's doing just a killer job as well. Like, these pages pop. So kudos to the whole creative team. I'm gonna be sad when they wrap things up, which I think they said they're going for 24 issues, right?
Yeah, this team is. Then we don't know who the team is after this, unfortunately.
Yeah. So we've got roughly another 6 issues after this. So it's just like, soak it in, take it in, and it's one of those things, like, you want to be like, no, don't end, but at the same time, it's like you have to be thankful for, like, whatever blessing you get in comics these days. And 24 issues with this creative team is honestly a blessing. So I'll take
it's
it.
like 24 issues with this creative team, and I think 11 so far with Jonathan Lau and Space Ghost.
Yeah.
Those 2 are pretty much miracles as far as I know.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And then Max coming in to agree with, yes, he has elevated his art style.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you look
just
at his Batgirl run he did not
oh
too long
god,
ago, it's terrible.
that so he's always had an interesting style, but that Batgirl's run, I feel like he just like cranked up his like, let me see how stylistic I can make this, and I did not like that at all. It didn't help that the writing was terrible from shoot, who is it? I almost said Rosenberg, but it's not Rosenberg. It's the husband and wife couple.
Oh, is it Matt Fraction and Kelly Sue?
No. They did Wonder Woman as well.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
She did Punisher at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those yahoos. Yeah, bad days. Bad. Look, I've tried to wipe it from my memory, so that's all I can. No, not the Dodsons. I don't think they're. Maybe they aren't married, but
No, it's not the Dodsons.
yeah. Hold on. We're googling. I'm gonna go Google Batgirls. Oh, that sounds dirty. Is it Conrad?
Oh yeah, Cloonan and Conrad.
Yes. Yeah, Michael Conrad and Becky Cloonan. Yeah. That's why that was what was throwing me off, because we kept calling him Cloonrad. Yeah, so bad. Terrible writing, terrible use of the characters. They were writing Cassandra Cain, and Cassandra Cain had like monologues. So automatically you should know that is wrong. You just know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, Drewski, are you ready to talk about our number one pick for March 2025?
Let's do it.
We are also having another first here. This is the first time this has happened. But Drew and I have the same number one pick, which gives it away that it's a debut. Not only was this, in my opinion, I mean, clearly the best book of the month. We both agree here. Beautiful book. By far, in my opinion, the best absolute book, the best ultimate type book to come out in these newer runs. But it's Absolute Flash number one, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Nick Robles, and colors by Adriano Lucas. So in my opinion, if you're gonna do a line like Absolute or Ultimates, it's a fine balance that you have to do. You've got to stay true to the character and also find a way to make it feel fresh and different and unique, a little edgy. And what Jeff Lemire does here is he kills every single one of those things. It feels like a Flash book, but everything about this feels a little edgier, a little more blockbuster, and it still feels true to what we know and expect from this character. Go ahead.
No, finish.
No, I was just gonna say I was already expecting this to be good because I like Jeff Lemire, but I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it as much as I did, and I loved it.
Same.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical about this issue because the previous ones, I thought were not great. But this one, this was my real come to Jesus moment. And like, oh wow, how about this? We have we have a writer, legit, talented, phenomenal storyteller, writer and artist Jeff Lemire, as well as a fantastic artist on this. Telling the story of this absolute version of the Flash, and we see it's telling the story out of sequence in different times, the past, present, and future. We see what happened to him and his parents, his father, the Barry Allen in this universe, what they've all been working on, where they're at, and we see how Wally becomes the Flash in this, pretty much. But at the same time, we're reintroduced to other characters as well. We're reintroduced to the rogues in this. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yes, finally! One of the writers gets it. We have a writer who gets that, you got to have those other elements in this book. And this is why I firmly believe this book will be the most successful. And at the opposite end, you're going to have the Green Lantern book that I think is going to alienate everyone. They're going to realize they're going to be thinking, "What the hell is this? This is not Green Lantern in any way, shape, or form." But at least with this, we do have Flash. We got a character who can run fast, the fastest speed of light. We got people hunting them down, which are the rogues, and these are rogues that we're very familiar with. And I dig it. This gave me everything I wanted in a flash book. It's very quick. Flash book is very quick. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Art is fantastic, and I can't wait for the next issue. I'm ecstatic. It's the first time an Absolute book has me coming back. Before Absolute Wonder Woman this past week. This is the first book. It's got me wanting to come back.
It was for all intents and purposes, it was a good month for Absolute. Despite what Batman, Superman, and Martian Manhunter may have been, they had 2 bangers for the month of March. But no, man, like this is great. And like you, like when the Rogue showed up, I flipped that page and it was just that like half a second of being like, who are the? And then like realizing without even reading dialogue, like, oh, okay, like they just okay. The Rogues tend to look like a bunch of jokes. Like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And they looked pretty freaking badass here. So I was like, all right, I'm down. But yeah, you've got Wally, you've got Barry. I'm curious to see how things unfold. He does some really cool stuff with time jumping. And it's played in a way almost like Wally's not completely controlling. I mean, you see that he's having trouble with the Speed Force in him. But we get kind of present day, but we also get kind of a little bit of a flashback type thing, just kind of showcasing, hinting at what we're going to explore here. So I'm on board. I can't wait to read more. And we're talking about the success of the book. This is which I think you had sent this to the group at one point, but this is the best selling the Flash title has been since 1987's Flash #1.
Yep.
And that is wild.
Very, 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 very wild. It's like, really? It sold more than anything on Mark Waid's run on it's boggling my mind right now.
Yeah. It blows my mind, but you know what? If it were gonna happen with an Absolute book, I'm glad it's this one.
Same.
And I hope more people read it. I hope Jeff Lemire just continues to knock it out. And same with Nick Robles. Like, God, it's a great looking book. So Max has given us a wow with a exploding head. Wow, did you not like the book? Are you shocked it's our #1? Like, what are we wowing? Wow, we wow. Yeah. Come on, Max. Come on. It's definitely better than that like yuppie Conan book. Like, I don't know. But no, I'm glad I thought this was fun that this was both our #1s, because that pretty much never happens. And I can't express how much I love this book by the time I was done. And I was like, I'm so ready to swear off everything Absolute. And I was like, well, I guess not. I guess I'll be reading this. And I hope this like is the one thing that just keeps running. Max didn't read it. Well, what a loser. Come on, Max.
What a loser he is.
All I'm gonna say, Jeff Lemire should tell you enough. Like he doesn't always knock it out of the park, but you can count on at least quality. Like you're gonna get solid right. He understands writing. He understands character.
I agree. In case of point, he's doing JSA right now with DC, and JSA it's been okay. It's been okay. It hasn't been great. It hasn't been bad. It's just been okay. It hasn't gotten that thing yet that's gonna be willing to come back each week.
Right.
I'm hoping he can find that for JSA.
Oh, agreed. I felt I've always kind of felt like Jeff Lemire is similar to like Dan Venditti. No.
Robert Venditti.
Robert Venditti and Dan Abnett. All those three for me are all kind of like in this sphere of being really good writers that should be bigger than they are, and for some reason aren't. At least from a Big Two standpoint. But good stuff. If you didn't pick it up, go pick it up. And this lets you know that we're honest for our opinions, because we could have easily come in and been like, oh, F the Absolute line, but we haven't. Like, we've come back. Absolute Wonder Woman made our honorable mentions because it was such a huge increase in quality. And then we have this topping both of our lists. So that should tell you something. We think it. We share it. So, and we're not just an echo chamber of, oh, this sucks. But yeah. Drewski, should we take another look to see how Pray for the
Sure.
Sinner's doing?
Let's do it. Let's see it one last time.
Let's get this pulled up. Oh, bro, hold on. I got to get this to cooperate real quick. Just a second. You know, I was saying, what the hell is going on here? Why is it not pulling? Oh, there we go. I was like, why isn't it pulling up? Because I've got it hiding over here. It's not adding to the stage. What is going on? Hold on. There we go. So you've almost doubled your goal. So not bad at all. Winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, once again, let me drop this into the chat. If you get a chance, go pick up this trade for Pray for the Sinner. You can't really beat trade pricings. So, and just the amount of story you get is a win. But I dropped that link back in there. Go to Kickstarter, support Pray for the Sinner. Issues 1 through 6, a redux for issue number 5 here. Some great cover content that we showed you earlier, but definitely worth checking out. And some great guys working on the book. So, ooh la la, spicy curves.
Wow.
I'm still kind of stuck on this cover, man. Like I know it's an homage, and I know it's very simple, but God, it's such a badass homage. So
Me too.
loving it. But we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping things up. Is there anything else you need to share for tonight, Senor?
No, that's it. Just I hope everyone checks out the Pray for the Sinner Kickstarter. It's only a 1-week campaign. 1 week. It ends next Wednesday on the 9th. So yeah, hope you guys can jump in on this before it's too late. After that, stay tuned on Friday when I'm at Max's Man Cave. I got a big reveal of a recent cover that was being finished. We're gonna be revealing that hopefully on Friday.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little more about Daredevil as well on Friday for Max's comic shop conversations, and then we finally got Max back to the core of what his channel and show is, comic books. So I'm sure we'll have some comic books to discuss. I don't even know what's coming out this week. I'm so like out of the loop right now with everything. Clearly, I've been a hot mess express tonight, but we'll figure it out. And listen, Maxwell Von Priestley. If we want to call it Max's Man Cave, we can call it Max's Man Cave. Get over it. Comic shop conversations, that show, Max's channel on Friday night. This Joker comes in, used to do Man Cave, started comic book conversations, changed his channel name from MVP to the Comic Crusader, created 2 other channels, and he's giving us shit for getting stuff mixed up. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Max posted another comment that says, "Yay, Daredevil Born Again. OMG, so good. Bestest ever." So there you go. He's an innovator. No, he actually said yay comics. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun on Friday nights until I hit my wall and then become worthless. Because whoops. But looking forward, and I don't have to be at work Saturday, so hoorah! I will be up for Comics Aficionado Saturday though. So
nice.
But yeah. Other than that, for the channel, I will say next week we are going to be we're going to do Culture Pops, and there's CinemaCons going on this week, so there's going to be a lot of news, a lot of announcements coming out of that. We're going to be covering that and having some conversations. I'm hoping that I can have Aaron available so we can have Drew, Aaron, and I run through that stuff, because some of it I think could be good, and some of it's going to be like, God, what are they doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, so they pretty much started the Warner DC panel. Warner had been running for about 30 minutes before we started our live stream, and they hadn't gotten to any of the DC stuff yet. Sony had their panel yesterday with some Spider-Man announcements, so plenty of stuff to cover and discuss for next week, and I'll be pulling that together, and it should be fun. Also, if you missed out, last week we did our comic book club for Daredevil Born Again. Great conversation. This is the best we've had our comic book club videos do. So thank you to everyone who tuned in and watched. I'm loving doing the series. So please go watch it. If you're comic book fans or have friends that are comic book fans, get them in here. And then we're open to kind of building these crews. We want people to come in. If you notice, we've had different people for the different books that we've done. We're trying to get different voices in here for people that have read a ton of comics to people that are new to comics. So, and then coming up for this month, we're going back to Swamp Thing to do Swamp Thing Book 2, which, you know, I think we've made a fan out of Swamp Thing, or of Max with Swamp Thing. So looking forward to revisiting this. I'm going to try to get Salty Traveling Sea back for that as well to keep some consistency there. And I'm super excited to talk about this because I think for the indies, we'll kind of get to go through and do chunks of a story as opposed to hitting these one-offs. And even when we get further with like Marvel and DC, we'll probably get to where we stick to runs. But I kind of want to get some seminal first stories for a lot of characters. That way I'm not doing a DC book and people are like, why are you just doing Batman for like the entire year? You know, like I get it. Calm down. So we're trying to keep some balance there. But yes. And Max comes in with a woo, hell yeah. Great to hear it's doing so well. Yeah, like get some growth there. But we are going to call it a night. Drewski needs some sleep. I need some sleep. We might even need a little drink. That's all I'm going to say. We were talking about how we can't believe it's only Tuesday because we're both exhausted with this week. So thank you everyone that tuned in. I really appreciate you guys. And we will see you next week when we talk about CinemaCon. Until then, you know, just keep popping. Bye guys. Bye.
Get the fuck out!